When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza.
That means we're going to start.
Are we starting?
We're starting, yes. So
anyway.
So we
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. As of course we record this on Thursday, then it airs Friday. It airs on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day,
Valentine's
everybody.
Day.
Big plans?
We do like a family dinner with the girls,
Nice.
Valentine's Day, most years. This year, I actually managed to get all of our close couple friends together for a dinner Saturday night at the patio. I'm really excited about that. It's been forever. I feel like, you know, as you get older, it's harder to get everybody together, especially during the winter. I feel like
Yes.
nobody wants to do anything. So
Yes.
I'm really excited. There's going to be about 15 or 16 of us going and enjoying our...
The woe does not meet very often during the winter.
Yeah.
And so that was one thing. Like you say, you just don't do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing dinner tomorrow night, and then we're gonna go to Hairball Saturday night.
Oh, cool.
And then go to dinner on the rail before that.
Nice.
So what are you doing? You're working during the day, right?
I am capitalizing on this commercial holiday, and I will be serving at Spring Street on Valentine's Day from 3 to 8. So come grab your drinks there before you go out on your date.
Get your loved ones drunk.
She wants big Valentine's tips too.
Yeah, duh.
I know her strategy.
Heck yeah.
I know I've known her long enough.
I mean,
to
it
know how
is
she works.
it is the you know, the holiday of love. Go show your
Yeah.
bartender some love for sure.
Hi.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hi, that's
Yeah.
me. So,
Speaking of love, you know, one of the community's most loved members, as we record this, passed away recently, Mr. Bob Scott.
yep.
Lots of lovely memories of that guy, and you know, the article that was written is amazing. He was gruff. That's a good way to put it. But
Yep.
once you kind of got past that exterior, you know, especially as kids, you could tell that he really had a soft spot for everything that he did. He had a huge passion for. So
I mean, yeah. I mean, so many kids, you know, grew up roller skating out there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the dirt track for years. And I mean, that's where I, you know, as a kid, coming across the river and going to Scotty's.
Yeah.
And then of course, I spent 10 years out there as the track announcer. And he hired me out there to do that.
yeah,
And yeah, you're right. At first, it was just like, but then after you just work for him a couple years and hang around a couple of years, like, oh, he's just full of shit.
Yeah,
He's fine.
he is.
And then you just blew
He
it
was,
back
yeah.
at him, and you got
Yeah.
along with him great.
Yeah.
Once you got through that and said, just you know, whatever, dude, or
That's
you know,
Bob.
that's like, yeah,
Yeah.
he was such a good guy, and you know, I love every time I run into him and see him, and you know, so he got really involved in karting, especially since Scott took over the Quincy Grand Prix, Jeff, his son Jeff. And you know, he was still doing tech stuff and working in the pits and doing all that stuff. And I
Yep.
know he'd had these health conditions for a while. And I always look forward to seeing him and talking to him for a while during that. And yeah, and Steve did a really nice job of writing, because of course Steve's been out there forever,
Yeah.
covering the track and stuff. But yeah, he was
Yeah.
one of a kind,
he was. So thoughts
truly missed.
and prayers
Yeah.
to his family and everyone who knew him. Also, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the accident. There were some girls Claire's age. She played volleyball with one or multiple of them, and just a really unfortunate accident. I want to, you know, send our thoughts and prayers out to those families, and just wanted to mention it because
Yeah.
it's a rough situation, but I think it's something that, you know, Claire wants to talk about it. I'm not good at talking about stuff like that, so I'm like, I don't know how to, you know, those things, it's just unimaginable. You don't know how to react or what to say. There really are no words. If there were words, we'd say them all, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, if you're a person, it's hard. If you have kids, it's extra hard.
Yeah.
And again, I just feel for that entire community. I know a lot of people down there, and the superintendent down there, Todd Fox, is just a fantastic guy.
Yeah,
And
they've canceled multiple days
Yeah.
on this account, which that just kind of shows how
Yeah.
the community came
yeah,
together.
yeah,
on
they're
this
gonna,
one.
and, yeah, and they're gonna take some time and heal with this. And
Yeah.
again, just you know, two people who lost their lives, and two other young ladies who are still you know, battling injuries and such. So
Yeah.
again, it's, you know, that kind of stuff. It has just been one of those weeks. I had mentioned to David that on Wednesday we had probably, as far as news content goes, one of the top 4 busiest days
Yeah.
we've had that I can remember, not only in the tenure of doing Muddy River News, but in just my 30-some-odd year news career here in town.
Yeah.
With everything that went on, because of course we then had the McLean-Madigan verdict come down, and of course Mike McLean being from Quincy, that was huge because that was big statewide news, and we had that, and of course we had, we aired David's interview with Tim Bleefnick, and just all the, and then on top of that, you get the tragedy that happens, and just all this stuff, and it's we look at it, and it's our job to just cover this stuff, and our job to gather the information and put it out there for people. And we have sections where we can editorialize and we can talk about things, and we have sections where we just say, hey, here's the news.
Right.
And so we did a lot of both of those this week, because we had a lot of instances that required us to kind of explain our thought processes. One of those, of course, was the interview with Tim Bleefnick, and I wrote a piece on that. And then to talk about the whole Mike McLean, Mike Madigan dynamic on these two men who had been inseparable for 40 some odd years, and then Mike Madigan, the former Speaker of the House, testifies and acts like he doesn't know Mike McLean, who was probably his best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, they vacationed abroad together all the time. They were there for each other in all these instances, and I just don't think that was the best. It's always risky when you get on the stand anyway. That's, people always tell you that if you're kind of throwing a Hail Mary if you're going to do that.
Right.
So for him to do that, and then I think it backfired on him. I had a long conversation with Mike McLean's attorney today that I'll write up and run at some point over the weekend. But basically, yeah, it was just this strategy, but they weren't surprised by it, because again, it's when you're in that situation, it's every man for himself.
Yeah.
Mike McLean was not going to roll over and testify against Mike Madigan because he was his lifelong friend.
Yeah.
And the guy who honestly helped him build a really successful career in Springfield and Chicago. Whereas Mike Madigan was like, everybody's collateral damage.
Yeah.
And
Snakes are going to snake.
well, if you
unfortunate.
watch one or two Martin Scorsese movies, watch The Godfather a couple of times, and you see that kind of stuff. That the guy at the top, he's the guy at the top for a reason.
Loyalty doesn't always go both ways, right?
Yeah, the guys at the top. Yeah, that's what it is. So
Really
anyway, so
unfortunate.
with all that kind of stuff going on, it's and then like you said, getting here tomorrow and Valentine's Day, hopefully it's a little lighter and everybody's in a really good mood. And school's half day tomorrow.
It is.
Yep.
So you got your daughter Mayla has parties and that kind of stuff. At junior high, they still do it.
I don't think
They don't
so.
do that. at
No,
junior
I
high
don't.
anymore?
No, I think they cut off after
5th grade now?
6th grade, because the elementary schools go to 6th grade now, and then once they hit,
They go to 5th.
They go to 5th.
They're K5s now.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Well, 5th grade, and then
That's when it
yeah,
stops.
that's right. And then 6th and 7th go to junior high.
So
Woo.
they have to grow up kind of early.
They do.
And lose their
Live
Valentine's
across the
Day.
street.
Yeah, I know. Well, my daughter goes there, so
And your
I'm
daughter
definitely going to
goes.
be judged. I am doing. Listen, it's been a long day. It's been a long week, but I'm doing the room mom thing. Shout out to all the room moms out there. That is, that's some hard work, man.
Did somebody bribe? Did you have to?
I got
bribe?
volunteered.
You bribed? Did
I got-
somebody say, "Hey, I've got these pictures of you. I'm going to show"?
No, I
if you
kind of
don't do
got
this?"
volunteered, and then it was so they were kind of, I don't want to say browbeaty, but it was kind of like, well, since you volunteered, I'm like, I didn't really volunteer. There's only so many times you can say I didn't really volunteer before you're like, you know what, just do it, Ash, just do the thing. But now I realize that it's a lot of hard work, and it kind of gives you a glimpse into what the teachers do and how much of their own money they have to spend to make these things, a reality for these kids and to give them something to really celebrate. And it's so much fun that I try to enjoy the moment of it rather than thinking about, oh my gosh, how much stuff do I have to do this time, right? I love going in and seeing the kids, and they're very excited. But yeah, it's a lot of work, but I'm excited. So,
Do you know what else is a lot of work?
yes,
Relationships.
yes.
Really?
Yeah, you don't think so?
Marriages. Marriages
yeah.
work.
It's easy.
Okay, Bob. But
I bet Ellen would disagree.
Smooth sailing
Yeah,
for 32 years.
That's because you have St. Ellen who's been
Yeah, no kidding.
steering the ship,
But
right?
generally, they take work,
Uh-huh.
and we have a very special couple joining us for our Valentine's Day Club Muddy special. And I look forward to hearing from them about, what it takes, how much work it actually involves for them, or if it is just smooth sailing, like you
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear their experience throughout how many years they've been married, what kind of work has been put in, what they get out of how they make it work, secrets. And I think it's really appropriate that we're having them on for a Valentine's Day.
Not to mention, they are the cutest couple and a very well-known couple in the community.
Yes, absolutely.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and we will have that for you right after this.
That's amore.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
What kind of shows will you see on Muddy River Gems each month? The same award-winning storytelling from Mark McDonald and crew that you enjoyed for nearly 20 years on PBS. Muddy River Gems with host Mark McDonald. A new episode every month online from Muddy River News.
I like a bigger pizza pie. That's amore.
All right, and welcome, Dick and Pat Wentura. How are you?
Great.
Good. So you were the lucky couple chosen to join us, this club, because Valentine's Day, we want to celebrate it. We want to celebrate longevity, but you also are 2 pillars in our community. So, right? And humble, I think, right?
Very humble about it, obviously.
Yeah.
I love Quincy.
Yeah.
I dearly love Quincy. And does Pat.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I went away at Western and they called me Quincy.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't stay long, but I went.
Yeah, well.
I made a lot of friends, but I always
Watched
cherished.
a lot of bandstand.
Yeah, I really cherished Quincy.
Yes.
Did you guys meet here in Quincy?
What
Did you guys meet here in Quincy?
Oh, yes.
we
Fifth
met,
grade.
I'll let you tell
Fifth
her.
grade.
We were
Tell me
11
about
years
it.
old, and we met at the fireworks stand that she worked at 12th and State.
Okay.
She can tell you more
Oh,
about
yes.
11
Would you
years
like
old.
would you like to hear that story?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Okay, very
Yes.
good. Okay. I had a teacher. It was the first man teacher that I've ever had, and it was in 5th grade. And I really admired him because before that I had a lot of old maid teachers. That's the way it was back then. So he sold fireworks in July. And that was when they were legal in Illinois. So he had a fireworks stand on 12th and State, right on the corner. So he said, could you come and help me for a couple hours? I said, sure. I lived just a few blocks away. So as we were working there, here comes this kid by on a bicycle. And he said to me, see that kid? I said, yes. He said he could sell snow to Eskimos. I said, oh, really? So he pedals his bike over there, gets off his bike, comes over, looks at me, he says, your legs are worth $1 million.
Oh.
Oh,
They
really?
didn't have a skirt on the
shorts
on the
probably, yes.
counter.
Uh-huh.
So you
All
could see it.
fireworks stacked up.
Yes.
Oh, I saw where.
So that was the beginning.
She told you what I saw.
Well, so you were smooth.
Well, I thought I was smooth for 11.
I'd say so.
I've been around girls. you know.
Obviously, it worked.
I had a brother. I didn't have a sister, so.
So were you hooked after?
Remember, we
No,
didn't have
no,
TV until
no, not at all.
52. The following years when we got TV. So I wasn't influenced by any TV.
Gotcha. So it wasn't right away. It wasn't
no.
love at first sight.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. He would ride his bicycle over to my house. I had 2 younger brothers. And so he pretended that he was coming over to see them. And of course, at age 11, and he was,
Rambunctious.
he was a lot of
Boy.
rascals, did a lot of stuff like that.
That was the soapbox derby era, too, when I first started in Quincy in 51. I was really deeply involved, and her brothers were. So, I had
You weren't
many-
100% lying.
I had many motives.
Yeah.
But he hung around off and on all that time. Yes.
And then he just kind of wore you down, or how did? So then you were.
Yes,
We
yes.
went to separate grade schools. She went
Oh,
to
yes,
Emerson, and I
yes.
went to Berry Ann, out by her
Okay.
grandparents. And oh boy, yeah, that I had that. I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 blocks down pat on my bike.
Do it with your eyes
I
closed.
knew every dog in the neighborhood, where to go and where not to go. And, oh, it was real. Her mother was really good to me.
Yeah.
She wasn't a typical mother-in-law. She was a good gal.
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't a typical mother.
No, she
No.
was fabulous.
No, all of our friends always wanted to come to our house.
Yeah. The cool house.
Yes.
Yeah. So then you met in 5th grade. How long before the love connection happened?
Oh, it was off and on for years.
Really?
Oh,
Starting then?
Yeah, with rings and throwing them back and forth,
Ah.
and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
All through high school, junior high, high
There-
school, off
there-
and on.
There was never ever any other serious girlfriend or boyfriend for me. Not really.
Really?
I did sponsor, in our homeroom, we used to have a Miss Merry Christmas thing at junior high, and I was innovative. I made a robotic type sign for Jill Weiss, and of course Patty was in the running.
And I was another candidate.
and my
Here
girl,
he is.
my sign won, but
And of
that's
course
the only.
she won.
Yeah, that was a bad.
You hold that over his head all the time, I hope.
Oh,
Not really.
that and many things.
There we go.
We're very compatible.
Yes.
Yes.
I imagine so. So how many years have you been married?
Well, let's see. How many is it?
It will be 64 in June.
64.
64 years married.
Yes.
You know, years ago when we were young, if someone reached the milestone of 50, it was a golden, and they had pictures in the paper. And now it's 70.
Yeah.
So
Longevity.
yeah, I'm shooting for 70.
I have no doubt you make it.
Well, I hope so. You know,
Yeah.
I do.
I've had open heart. I've had other things I've worked on, but I tell you what, I still love life.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
Yeah.
We have 7 great grandchildren, and the youngest one now is 10 months.
Yeah.
And just the thought of dying, just really upsets me. Not that I'm afraid to die,
Sure.
but the fact that I'm going to miss out on all those things as they grow up.
Yeah.
Oh, now that's bad.
Yeah.
You have
That's sad thoughts.
Keep the faith. Maybe you'll be around in another way that you can see it, right?
Right,
Yes.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
make contributions to society, and you get to be proud. And we've been fortunate. Our son went to Nebraska to dental school, practiced 30 years. Now he's retired, so that makes you feel old.
Right.
We have a grandson in medical school right now, which his graduation date is 28. So that's a milestone we like to reach. Again, you're playing roulette now at our
Yeah, but
age.
you seem really spry. I have no doubt you're going to be just
Well,
fine.
I
Just
tell you
keep
what,
going.
Yeah.
I tell you
that's
what,
the key.
Yeah.
Hands and go.
Yeah.
she's a fabulous kitchen woman. She
Kitchen woman.
she does wonderful things in the kitchen. I'm talking about diet and healthy food.
Okay.
and what have you.
Keeps you in shape.
I don't walk anymore because my hips hurt if I walk. But I tell you what, I still I'm very proud of what's at home, and I live for that. You know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We had a pretty good little business. Had 35 employees. I don't know how. Can I blow my own horn like that?
Do it.
Yes.
Toot, Dick. Let's do it.
And I tell you what, Bob and I worked the Blue Devil games together for years. I want to tell you something I'm most proud of other than my wife and family. And that is in 1950, and I didn't figure this out till later in life. 1950, my brother was a senior at Quincy High, and he took me to my first Blue Devil game at the beginning of the season. And I have not missed a home Blue Devil game since 1950.
Wow.
If anyone wants to try to match that,
Good luck.
that's fine. Good luck.
That's
to 'em.
incredible.
And I tell you what, it took me about half of that time to figure out that's the only privacy my folks had
Yeah.
when I was that age.
Yeah.
You know.
When you were going to the
When I
basketball
was going
games.
to the basketball games, that's the
Well,
only,
they
because
encouraged
we
you to
lived,
go, probably.
we lived on South 10th of Monroe in a shotgun house. And if anybody knows what a shotgun house is, it's room, and that's it.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of privacy in
Yeah.
our home. And I tell you what, we did pretty good.
Yeah. So now, I feel like I'm taking all the questions, so hop in anytime. So,
Oh, well, what I was going to say was, and along the lines of you did pretty good. It's a small world. Dick and I were talking about that over the phone earlier today. I know you through Amy Peters. So she was one of our club guests before, and she's the director of the Children's Museum and one of my dear friends.
amazing.
And I just want to say, if any of your children or grandchildren or anything like Amy, then obviously you did do great
Yeah.
things.
The different personalities are amazing.
Yes.
Oh,
She is
that's
fantastic.
great. Yes.
I don't know how she
She's
does what she
amazing.
does.
Yeah.
I don't either. I really don't either.
Incredible.
You have
Yeah.
beautiful great-grandchildren through that family, too.
You know, I adopted the first two, and when things weren't chemically right, and all of a sudden things changed, and now they have three. Now they have five.
Yes,
Yeah.
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 And I don't know how she does it.
Yeah.
Patty and I sit at home and talk about it. How does she do what she's supposed to do when she's supposed to be doing it?
It's pretty incredible.
Every Friday morning, we hop in the car, the truck, or whatever, and we go over to their house. Oh, it's like a three-ring circuit.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, they're getting ready to go to school,
Yeah.
and that's very interesting.
I bet it's entertaining.
It's a good way to start a day, believe me.
So now how many kids did you have?
Just two.
Two children.
Doug and Dawn.
Okay. And then you have how many grandchildren?
We have
So-
five.
5.
Amy's the only girl.
Okay.
4 boys.
Okay.
And then Amy has the 5 children.
Yep.
And then one of our grandsons has a son. And another grandson has a daughter.
Okay.
And she's the 10-month-old.
Our daughter
Oh.
is Dawn Brittle. She's married to Donald Brittle. He's a retired Quincy firefighter.
Okay.
Oh, that's another subject we could talk about if you have time.
We got all night.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't told about time.
You're good.
Well,
and you're in trouble.
I do want to touch on like what we said with the small world. He also mentioned that he knew both of my grandparents, which I thought was interesting. One of my grandparents lives out of town. He was here in Quincy for a while, Terry, and he told me that when he was married to Rita, my grandma, that you guys worked together at the bank.
Oh, sure.
I thought that was
Rita Bauer, Hull,
Yep.
whatever. Oh, yes. Oh,
yes.
small.
And then my other grandparents, but then my dad worked at WTAD, and I guess you had a connection with that as well.
Oh gosh, yes. My dad was a radio op on the riverboat.
Mm-hmm.
He graduated from Cleveland High School in St. Louis in 1926. So in 1926, he would have been what, 18?
Okay.
So he went to work right away because he was a radio nut as a kid. In fact, I still have the first radio he made himself.
Oh, wow.
And incidentally, he had 2 classmates, Walter and Irene Rothschild. Walter, I don't know what Irene's maiden name was, but they hooked up and got married. And Walter came up and became the general manager of WTAD. Dad came up on a riverboat. Walter went and picked him up, took him to Bird's drugstore for coffee or Coke or whatever. That's where I met my mother. She worked at Bird's drugstore at 8th and Hampshire.
Wow.
So that's how that all started. And you got to remember this, 18 is when he started. And he was around 20, 21 when Walter hired him. And they built, the WTAD used to be out on North 24th Street, out behind Cooley's.
Okay.
And in 1929, I believe, or 30, they built that transmitter site down on river bottoms. And it still works today. That's what's amazing.
It's incredible.
It is.
Yeah.
And I was watching Bob work the board here a while ago. And they finally took the board off the wall at WTD in the WCU building that my dad put up.
Huh.
I don't know where it went. I'd like to have it.
Yeah. Well, let's
Well-
count that out. If you know where that is, hit up Muddy River News. We'll get it to you.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That would be
That would be
nice.
incredible.
But anyway, that's ancient
And where would
history.
you put that?
Not in the kitchen,
No, no.
right? Kitchen woman.
Actually, I've been very polite to her. We have a barn that is really, really got a lot of stuff in it,
Yeah.
including antique.
Her
cars.
laugh says
Is
it all.
there any of Pat's stuff in
I
it?
don't infiltrate our home with my hobby.
You're relegated out there with all of your stuff. Yeah.
It's away.
Yeah. Is that one of the secrets? You keep all of his crap in another
She
place.
doesn't have an idea what's
Oh,
in
No.
I don't.
You just steer
I
clear.
don't. Oh.
Yeah.
Before
It's
we
your
close here,
privacy.
I want to tell you what I actually do now.
Yes. Yes. So, if as far as family's concerned, do you think because I want to talk about longevity, and you've been married for a really long time, and it's interesting to hear how you make it work. Obviously, your personalities really jive. I mean, you just seem to really still get along.
Sense of humor is great.
Yes.
We laugh
I
when we
always-
get mad, and then we end up laughing.
Yes.
I tell people it's a give-take situation. I give, she takes. But it's not bad.
Yes.
It's very good.
Yes.
I challenge.
She's challenging that. Yeah. So I always say this is one piece of advice, and I want to get your input. And maybe I use looser terms, but I always say if you can't play together, you won't stay together. So if you can't enjoy each other's company in whatever setting that is, right?
Yeah, I never complain about the menu. I never complain about social life. Where you want to go, what do you want to do? We just do it.
Yeah.
And we're very compatible. She is fantastic. She takes care of all the finances.
I was going to ask that.
And,
Yeah.
I always said, I'll make it, you take it. That's how, I did. It's not a secret. It's just compatibility.
Yeah.
And when you stand up in that altar and you say these vows, I don't know what it means to some people,
Yeah.
but to me it means a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously. I mean, that's very honorable to hear you say that, because I was going to ask another question, which is, what are your thoughts on marriage today?
Well, it seems to be too easy. And I'm doing all the talking.
That's all right. Yeah, she can answer too. Yeah, for
It
sure.
seems to be too easy to get a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I think you gotta work your way through the rough spots. I played high school football and I loved it. I wasn't very big, but I was pretty good. And
Toot toot. God, I love the dick horn coming through. I love it.
It gets better every year.
It's the fish story.
I liked it, and it was rough. I mean, it's rough when you're little. You have to. And I went to Berrien School, and I had to take care of myself there, and it worked out. I have a lot of friends that we're still in contact with. Patty is the historian of our '58 class, which incidentally was the first class out of the torn down Baldwin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And oh God, I can't get over. She knows where everybody lives, who they're married to, and she also, when there's a death, she lets everybody know. And we've had about 5 since the first of the year. 4. So and that's the sad part of her
Job.
involvement in her job.
Yeah.
But the
she's
fact
also a photographer.
The fact that we graduated together was good.
Yeah.
'Cause, with class reunions, a lot of times the couple don't go because they weren't in the same class,
Sure.
or they weren't even from the same city or school. And so it's no fun for the classmate because the spouse is just sitting there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we were very fortunate.
Well,
You're
we
the
had
fun couple.
We had a great class.
Yeah.
We really did.
We did.
Where does this telecast go?
So it's going to be online. So we're an online news
Well,
publication.
we would like to tell people about it, and if they can pick it up. I don't, I didn't know I was going to be doing that. I thought we were going to do
He didn't know he was going to be on camera.
I thought we were going to do a verbal.
Well, you both look so
Yeah.
nice. I thought for sure you knew you were coming on camera. No. Well, you guys look
This is how you normally dress? Just fancy all the time?
Yeah, well, no, this isn't fancy. This is the way I put a pullover on for ball games. Blue Devil, blue one. And
Yeah.
QU, the GLVC pullover.
Nice.
Coincidentally, I've been there 50 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So you are a man that stands by his dedications, right?
Well, you know, I have stories. Sure,
I love the stories.
Sure, Hanks fired me
Okay.
when he came to town.
All right.
From where?
From Quincy High. I've been on the scoreboard. I was on the basketball team, but I was little, and I wasn't very good. So Howard Duell said, "Would you like to? You had a good football season. Would you like to carry over and be on the basketball program?" I worked the table for him, score table. I said, "Well, yeah, I think so. I'll be here anyway." I hadn't missed, so I started working on the scorers table in 1957. After that was 57, 58, our senior year. And Cheryl Hanks came, what was it, 60, 61? And right up front he says, everyone on the scorer's table will be QPS personnel only. Well, the head custodian, Ed Schroeder, heard him say that. And I worked with Ed in the summer crew for cleaning the halls and scrubbing and waxing and all that, which I did every hall in the building, or I worked on it. And he went to Hanks and he said, "You don't want to fire him. He's dependable."
Yeah.
So that's the word I was searching for.
Yeah, you're dependable.
I'm
for sure.
dependable. And he said, "Well, Cheryl Hanks called me. I was Volkswagen at the time. I was working at Volkswagen as a salesman, and he called me and he said, meet me at Hardee's or Sandy's tomorrow morning for coffee." Well, I didn't drink coffee. I was 21 years old. About that, yeah, 21. And I didn't drink coffee, but I went, and we sat down there and talked. And he said, "Now, have you you've been a regular at Blue Devil games?" And I said, "Yes, Coach. I haven't missed one since I was 10." And he said, "Can you promise me you'll be there to fill that spot?" Because he said, "I don't have time to be searching for people." And he was the AD and the head coach. He had all the responsibility.
Yeah.
So I said, "I'll be there for you." Well, he said, "I'm going to make an exception. You can do that." Well, fine. What was it, 1975? He went to QU. First person he called was me. "Can you come over in time for me?" So I said, "Sure, I'd be glad to, but what about Art Stegeman? He'd been there for 30 years or 40 years. Well, he said he's going to retire, which I didn't know he was going to retire, but he did.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got that job there in 1975, been there ever since. So the dependability factor for me, I think, is a good trait.
Yeah.
I kind of think you kind of hit the nail on the head with that, Dick, too, that's the secret, too.
Yeah.
Just dependability on each other. You know, we're on this journey in life, and what better way to do it than with someone that you can depend on?
That you actually like.
Yeah.
It's obvious you like each other.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. That was, yeah.
You have to, right? To make it this far, you have to really like each other. Love is a word that
And
gets thrown
respect.
around, but
Respect.
yes. Yeah.
I tell you what, I personally think that we did the right thing by saying she would take care of the inside of the house and I'll take care of the out.
Yep.
And did I open up I mow 6 acres and I got about 500 trees and it's getting to me.
Yeah.
But we're not in a nursing home yet.
There you go. There you go.
We're still at home.
Love it. So then, Pat, you like to tell stories. You have a great memory, which is outstanding. I don't know if I remember half of what you remember from your childhood and growing up and jobs and stuff. You hear these stories a lot?
Oh, yes.
You know them front and back.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And he knows so many people.
Yeah.
So many people. It's amazing, really. And we can go someplace, a restaurant or someplace, and we leave together. And I'm walking out, and soon I turn around, and he's nowhere around. Well, he stopped to talk to several different people. So, yes, he knows a lot of people.
We were at Fisherman's Wharf, and my brother taught at San Francisco State, and we visited there occasionally. And we were at Fisherman's Wharf one day, and a guy walks up to me, he says, "Wentura, what are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I'll be darned." It was a fellow dealer from Mattoon, and he had his family there. And then,
Dealer of Volvo.
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen, okay.
Anyway, then we were at Coronado Island in San Diego one day, and this little guy walked up. He said, "Dick, what are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I'm at a Honda meeting," and it was a neighbor or a graduate.
Jerry
Kill graduated with us, and he said, "You just never know where you're going to be or who you're going to see." And I don't know. I've had a knack of being able to pick people out in large crowds that I know, and I always go up and talk to them.
Yeah. That's incredible. I love it.
I'm not bashful.
No, I can, obviously. I love it. So then, okay, question. Go to bed mad, yes or no? Have you ever? Do you believe in it? What's your thoughts?
No, we, as a rule, that's the last thing. Even if we've fallen asleep on in the chairs or whatever, when we get up, we always say, "I love you, Dad."
Yeah.
And he said, "I love you too,
we love
Dad,"
each other,
and that's
right.
it.
Yeah.
And we do.
Yes.
And I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
I like to hug her.
He's very sentimental.
Yeah,
Oh.
Very.
very sentimental.
So now in my marriage, and I don't know about yours, I kind of have this bad habit of cold shouldering. But my husband doesn't let me.
Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You learn pretty doggone quick when you're getting the cold shoulder. You better react to it.
Yeah.
Somebody better react
Right.
to it.
Yes.
And I usually do.
You're the first one to cave.
All right, read between the lines
Yeah.
and we do it.
Yes.
We're going to go. Let's get in the car and go.
And when we do say crosswords to each other,
Uh-huh.
and our grandchildren are around, they love it.
Oh, they think it's
love
hilarious.
They're coaching. Come on, Gran, let's do it.
I'm Pops. She's Grant.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And that's been ongoing for about 30 years.
That's great.
Yeah. No, it's been real.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah. It sounds like it. You
Yeah.
definitely have a legacy.
I used to know everybody. Now there's a generation or two. We sold our business in '87. We were 47. My Lord, that cut off a lot of interaction with
Yeah.
people, because everybody that come to town would want one of my cars.
Right.
We had a multi-franchise deal, and a lot of people liked economy cars in those days, and we get to know everybody.
Yeah.
And she was taking care of the money, and I was taking care of the rest.
There you go.
The sales. And, I loved it. I loved the car business immensely. It's a strange thing. I started in the car business when I was 14 at Hager Bomber Garage on South 8th. I think it's a photo studio now or something.
No, it was for a while.
Anyway, I don't know what's there now, but that's where I started, and I was 14. That's where my first Social Security knowledge came about. I didn't know they took money out of your check.
Oh, that's a rude
I
awakening.
thought I'd get all of it. Yeah. But anyway, no, that's when I started in 1954. In 1973, Patty and I were the youngest Volkswagen dealers in the country.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
And then we added lines. We added Audi, we added Mazda, Honda, and later Nissan. And the only one left now is Honda.
Hmm.
And it really blows my mind that no one has taken up any of the other lines. And I see the other lines running around, but people are going to 2-hour deal, get them worked on.
So the Honda dealership now is the only
one line.
the only line that we had that they still have a local dealership.
Okay.
In Quincy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What do you drive now?
I drive a Nissan pickup. She drives a Honda Passport.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And in the summertime, I drive a 32 Ford.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
Ah, we'll have to go for
When
a
I
ride in that.
can.
That's another whole story.
Yeah,
Talk
we-
about
we-
the barns.
We haven't talked about those, but 32 Ford is my favorite antique automobile.
Oh.
I have a bunch of
That's
them,
incredible.
but they're a pain.
Yeah.
I should have collected stamps.
Yeah, it's boring. That doesn't seem like your style.
No.
No, not at all. So, you're talking about a lot of memories. Do you have a favorite one together? I mean, outside of course, marriage and.
Well, I mean, the paramount one is when we got married, our ceremony was on a Saturday afternoon at 927 Monroe.
That was the first
That was
Trinity Church.
Okay.
First trip up 2 blocks from Diane. And got married, got out of Volkswagen, drove to Mexico, Missouri, and stayed at the Air Park Motel because it had a garage. Because I knew my buddies would sabotage my car if I did.
Like tie stuff to it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do everything. So that was the first night. We went to Eureka Springs, Arkansas the next day.
His parents
My
owned
folks
some
had-
land there.
had
So
property.
that was the destination.
Yeah, that was a destination. Stayed at the Crescent Hotel. It's a big, well, supposedly beautiful hotel up on top of a hill.
Very old.
And while we were there, it was our honeymoon. But it was awful busy. The knocking at the door and do you need anything? And is
Like
everything-
privacy.
is everything okay? And finally, Patty and I looked at each other and said, we're going back to the lake of the Ozarks because they wouldn't leave us alone. I don't know what the motive was, but we didn't stay in Eureka Springs very long and went back to the lake of the Ozarks and spent a couple of days and then came home and went to work.
Yeah. Lovely.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been good ever since. I remember,
Sounds like it.
just like it was yesterday.
Oh.
I love it. So, Pat, when you are hearing him talk about, how wonderful you are, kitchen woman and whatnot, So, do you have a favorite memory or quality of Dick?
Well, the fact that he is so sentimental, the fact that he's absolutely amazing, the amount of people that he knows and the amount of people that respect him.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's very nice. Very nice.
Love it.
So,
Things
Yeah.
you can't buy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when you're talking about things, today is, I think everybody gets so busy and times are always changing. But, what's one thing that you think, remains really important no matter, through the years, things change, things come and go. What's something that you do? Do you have any rituals or any traditions to make sure that you stay close or that you communicate, or how do you make sure that you're staying true to each other?
Well, I think it's just togetherness of the family. What do you think? We're
I think so.
family oriented.
Yeah.
to us, family is the most important.
In the wintertime,
It really is.
people go south, to the warm climate. Basketball keeps us here. She is a saint to put up with that. When we were in business, we had many opportunities to go all over the world.
And
And literally
we
all
had
over
to
the
travel.
world. And I would cancel it and stay home for a Blue Devil game.
Yeah.
That's crazy, but I would. I canceled my open heart surgery because of Blue Devil schedule. I hope to God I'd live till they could do it. And
You know what? Like, by golly, if you die at a Blue Devils game, right?
that's what I could have. My sister-in-law in San Francisco, when my brother died, I was scheduled to work the regional tournament here, and she postponed my brother's funeral for 10 days.
Oh
Oh my
So I
gosh.
could get the regional in, and that was awesome.
That's dedication there.
Well,
I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah.
and I love her for doing it. But,
Yes.
no, it's just little things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered your question.
You did. I mean, family. It all kind of stems
It's
around
family.
family and upholding, upholding the relationships that kind of, through the test of time, it is what is important. I think family and remain keeping those connections. For
And
sure.
spiritually, I'm a God-fearing man, and
Okay.
I respect that. I dealt with a lot of clergy in my career, all denominations, and I have my own views of spirituality, but that plays in.
Yeah.
It might not show as much as maybe other people show it, but it plays in our lives.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I sell you something? What?
Listen, hey, you're selling me on each other. That's for sure. You are a lovely couple. You obviously, you're obviously a couple to look up to, something to aspire to be. It's easy to, you mentioned earlier that marriage, getting the piece of paper is kind of easy, but I think people underestimate what we were talking about, that marriage is work. You do have to put in the work. It's not just
A piece of paper.
it's not just a piece of paper. It's not just love at first sight and all these things just come easy. And I think maybe sometimes people expect that because people aren't really truthful about, the sanctity of marriage and what actually goes into it. It's
My
not.
point was the piece of paper is too easy to get.
Yeah.
And judges and lawyers and what have you, that's how they make the living, I guess.
Right.
But I never ever gave that a thought. Never entered my mind. Of course, there are circumstances where it's necessary. I understand. I'm smart enough to know that. But no, we just cohabitate and I wouldn't
Do it well.
I wouldn't change anything.
Good. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, I love it.
Sitting here watching you two together, like I'm kind of fight back tears
Yeah,
the
me
whole
too.
time.
Yeah.
I just picture myself with my husband, and I hope to one day grow old with him. It's beautiful.
Well,
It's
that's the value to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I kind of live by that. I had a lot of signs in my life, and I've always had a kind of a knack of looking down the road and what's going to happen if this happens.
And seeing some legs.
Yeah.
Ha, seeing the legs.
Well, that was that was one.
Oh, you had a knack for it.
That was-
Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah, this has been truly incredible. I feel like we could sit here for hours.
We really
I have
could.
to tell you what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
doing
tell
now.
us what you're doing now, and tell us what you have plans for in the future.
Well, I don't have too many plans.
Well,
for the
you
future
should.
because of time.
You
limitation.
should, yes.
And I know you're on time limitation,
No,
but
you're
I
fine.
wanted to tell you and the folks that might take time to watch this. I am a one-man manufacturing company of houses,
What kind of houses?
bird houses.
Okay.
I manufacture.
I'm in the
bird
market for
houses
one.
For farm and home. Well, had I known that, you would have asked. But I do that for farm and home, and
You sell them out at Farm and Home?
they're sold at farm and home.
Wow.
And I have the primarily wren, house wren, or bluebird.
Does it say that? Like,
I have a
is it
sticker.
labeled
I have a
that it's
sticker
by
on the
Dick?
wren house that
those
says
printed
it's my
and put on
creation, but they are made to last a long time.
Wow.
And this all happened. Leon had me make some bird. I love birds.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you love to be able to be free to
Wouldn't that be
fly
awesome?
away?
Always come back though. You always fly back home. But yeah.
But anyway, Leon Obert, the manager there,
Mm-hmm.
asked me if I'd make some bird stuff for St. Dominic School. I said, sure. They were putting a nature garden out. And so, I made him some stuff. He said, why sell those?
There
I
you
said,
go.
"You make these. So, I probably manufactured a couple thousand for them.
Huh.
Wow.
Locally built and sold.
Believe me, it's not for the money because, but
Because she does the finances. She
But-
would know.
But he rather than to sit in the house and it's easy to turn on TV, he goes to the hobby shop. This is where he makes his birdhouses, and it's about
Walk away.
a block away.
Yeah.
And he goes up there by the hour, and he builds a little fire and the wood burning stove
Oh,
up
I have
there.
a ball, yeah.
and-
Hey, listen, Patty, they want to close.
I know.
off.
No. We want to sit here and talk all night, but
We
you
want
know.
to thank you very much for having us, and
Oh,
I want to wish everybody in the world a happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Believe me, it's worth it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank
Love
both
you
so much.
guys.
You guys are amazing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, inspiring. Thank you both so much.
Cheers to you.
Lovely. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone.
Amore.